What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. Today's video, I want to talk about sympathy plays. Now, you got to know about sympathy plays because when a stock has a really great day, like we just seen with ZSAN, going from $2.25 all the way up to a high of $6.68, we're going to have plays with stocks that are going to follow in sympathy with ZSAN. And we had a couple of those stocks like ACHV on Friday gapping up from $1.74 to a high of $3.38, and then going from $2.80 to a high of $4.53. And then also ADIL on Thursday when ZSAN was popping off, this thing ripped from $3.30 all the way up to a high of $4.60. So I want to show you how to look for these sympathy plays, and we're going to observe ACHV on Friday. Let's go to ZSAN real quick. So we see right here, ZSAN is on the NASDAQ exchange. It's in the healthcare sector, biotechnology. And we look at ACHV, same thing, NASDAQ, healthcare, biotechnology, but this is in Canada. And then ADIL, same thing, healthcare, biotechnology in the United States. So if we go to FinViz and go to the screener, you can look for these sympathy plays just by going to the sector here, going to healthcare, going to the industry. All of them were biotechnology. So click on biotechnology. The percentage change, I'll just click it a couple times to bring up the biggest percentage gainers for that day. So we had ACHV, VYGR, LQDA, MRNS. All these plays were following in sympathy with ZSAN. So you could just go through really quickly and filter out and select the ones that you want to keep an eye on. We can also filter it by the volume, which ones had the most volume. ACHV, AMRN, and CRON had the most volume with ZSAN on Friday, but ZSAN sold off Friday, but it's setting up for Monday for a mid-candle breakout. But even just going off of the daily here on AMRN, this was setting up nicely right here with a great pattern. And this is what it did for the day, going from $17.62 to a high of $20.50. Just adding these plays to your watch list and tracking them, plotting out basic support and resistance, and just observing how the stock moves. And then we had VYGR. Let's see, right at the morning here it was at 13.50, sold down to 13, popped right back up to 13.50, sold off, consolidated here at 12.50, and then ramped up to 13.25 and 13.40. So great opportunity on this play right here. MRNS as well. Pretty much all morning it didn't do nothing but just slowly climb and climb and climb. But then it just, as you can see, as it's making higher lows, it just got more and more and more momentum. And then from this 375 area, she exploded up to 4. And then consolidated more. And then from 4, she exploded up to 422. You could have a 50-cent opportunity on this if you were to simply look for the sector and the industry on FinViz and add these to your watch list. So now that we know how to look for these sectors and industries that these stocks are in, I just wanted to go over and observe what ACHV did on Friday. This had great opportunity on it in the morning. You got to think Fridays are really, really tough to trade. I normally don't trade on Fridays unless something epic happens. ACHV was one of those opportunities that you just couldn't pass up on Friday. Normally on Fridays I don't trade because volume is weaker on Fridays. A lot of traders just trade the open, take their profit or take their loss and call it a weekend. You have other people who just don't trade on Fridays. There's really no news press releases on Fridays. So Fridays are really low. But again, Fridays can be special and crazy things can happen on Friday. ACHV here just had a great morning all the way up until noon. And then after noon, it just sold off. And then towards the end of the day here, she got to ramp back up. Going into Monday, this is going to be on high watch, over $3.50, $4. You could see here, this gapped up from $1.70 to a high of $3.50. Then she came down, and then she opened here at $2.75. And then from $2.75, she just didn't look back and just kept moving up and up and up and up and up and up, all the way up to $4.56. And then it got a little choppy after that. ACHV had crazy volume on Friday. 68.8 million in volume on Friday. I don't even think ZSAN did that much on Thursday. Yeah, it did. ZSAN had 77.5 million in volume on Thursday, and then on Friday it had 9.6 million in volume. You could just see what this did. It just, all day, it just squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. All of February in the penny stock world, stocks from, I don't know, 25 cents to $20, it's just been really slow. And what was really hot was OTC stocks. Now, I'm not much of a fan of playing OTC stocks because that's just a whole different world. And OTC stocks move differently. And like I said, they're a different world. So you got to learn that different world before you can even attempt to trade it. So I'm not a fan of trading OTCs. So I really just sat out most of February. And then now towards the end of February here, all we really need is one stock to move like this to bring volume back into the penny stock world. Thursday and Friday started bringing back the volume. This is the type of moves that we need to get the hotness back from stocks from $1 to $20. Now going back to ACHV, this just grinded up all morning for the first 45 minutes. This was a money machine. And then after that, like I said, it just got choppy. It did do a double bottom here and consolidated at 363 with an opportunity to capitalize on it from 460s up to $4 and even a little push above $4. But then after that, she just sold off. Let's bring over the trading day on ACHV and just observe the tape and the times and sales. And doing this is really important over the weekends. Recording the markets Monday through Fridays and just going back and watching tape like a football player would. Always be observing and studying your opponents to better prepare yourself for the future. So I recorded 2 hours and 12 minutes on Friday. We're not going to watch all of it. I want to try to go over some key important areas. Now, right at the open here, I'm not much of a fan at trading right at the open. It's very volatile, and you don't know what's going to happen. You got to be very good at reading the tape. And as you can see, right at the open here, we're seeing just nothing but selling and selling and selling and selling. So when you see something like that with the low float stock, this thing could be at 280. Next thing you know it, blink of an eye, it's down at $2. But then the selling just goes away, and then we see all this buying come in. Pretty heavy a little bit here on the ask, but all this buying that's coming in, it's just eating it up on the ask. And as soon as she breaks away, she just doesn't look back. And we got CSAN down at the bottom. You can see we finally get that push above, approaching $3. This is going to be a mental area. Still big buy orders coming in, if you can see on the far right there. Z-Sand's getting a push up from this 550 up over 6. So we'll see if ACHV is going to follow in sympathy with Z-Sand. See the bid right here? There's a lot of buyers on the bid. I don't want to see those guys get ate up and away, which they are right there. We're seeing a lot of buying coming through on the sales right here. We got a 220,000 seller here at 294. This is the part where you got to be really, really tight with your stop loss. If it breaks below this 275, you got to cut it. Or if you just don't feel it, you got a feeling, get out. If you don't feel comfortable. Now watch the ask right here, and I want to see this get ate up really fast. We're at 4.5 million in volume. Way more than Z-Sand. Still seeing continuous buying here. That's pretty good. Right here. See that getting eaten away really fast? All this getting eaten up. A lot of sellers on that. But the buyers just ate it up like nothing. And then off we go. Just look at that volume just surging into the stock. You are going to have people wanting to take profit from holding on to that 275 area up over 3. You got to think they're up in profit 30 cents. Look at all this buying right here up on the bid at the $3 area. So we're going to be looking for support now at 3. This area right here. And something that I've heard that's always stuck with me, when a stock is either bullish or bearish and it breaks out, the odds of it reversing on you is slim. So I know it's a lot of traders tend to hold on to their losers longer than their winners. But like I said, you can see a big resistance right there at 319. But that's just something I've always kept in mind when trading breakouts. Stocks ain't just going to shoot up and up and up and up and up. They're going to pull back, and then they're going to retest the areas. Real quick, I want to go back to this big order up here. It was like 40,000 shares. I hope I went back far enough. Right there at 319. Big order right there, and at 315, a big order right there. And you can see another one popped up right here. They could be wrong because you can manipulate the bid and the ask, but it's just something to keep in mind when you spot these. When it gets closer up to this right here, if they disappear or if they stay there. Right there. See 2 big orders right there and right there. And we see they're just getting chipped away. Slowly but surely, they're getting chipped away. Also, keeping an eye on the tape here. I want to see big buyers in on this. That's why I have this extra tab open right here that separates this is pretty much the overall flow of the times and sales. This is orders above 2,000 shares. I want to see where the big money is. Is the big money selling, or is the big money continuing to buy? And like I said a few minutes ago, it's going to take time. If you got big sellers like that, it's going to pull back and it's going to come back up, and it's going to take time to eat away at those sellers before it moves to the next level. And we could see the volume is declining here, the buying volume. So we could be potentially seeing a potential pullback coming. And you can see the big order is just slowly getting chipped away. At 319, we just got rid of the big first order, and then right behind it, we got another one. And then 1 penny up, we got another one right there. So the buyers are going to get exhausted. And this is going to pull back, reset itself, and then it's going to start working its way back up to that area and eat away at those sellers. Just doing this over the weekend, you got to put your screen time in. Pause and observe, rewind, watch over and over again. Try to spot stuff that you missed during market hours, because during market hours, everything happens so fast, and you got to think on the fly. Decision making on the fly. And this is all real time. I want to show you guys this real time as it's happening. And then go back and rewind and watch this over and over. And you could tell if you were watching this pre-market, this 320 level was a resistance for it. And what did it do? It came right up to that 320 area. Now we would be looking for it to come back down to this level right here. So drawing your support and resistance lines and trusting your support and resistance lines and just observing the tape and the level 2 and the volume. How's the stock moving? Is it showing weakness? Is it showing strength? If you pay attention to these stocks and just watch them, it's literally like watching a movie. This is going to tell you a story, and you'll be able to put it together. And there they go. They're eating up the ask just like that. See how fast they ate that ask up? And then it pushed up through. It's never good to chase. You always want to try to buy pullbacks as a trader. If you chase, you're buying at 325. This thing pulls back down to this support area right here, $3. You're down 25, 30 cents. With 1,000 shares, you're down $300. Look at that. More big orders, but they're eating up right through it. And real quick, you can see on the volume right here, these 3 big bars. You see how this one's real tall, and then this one's a little bit taller, and then this one's a little bit taller? That means the buyers are really strong with this stock. So there are more buyers than there are sellers at the moment. Analyzing and putting all of this together, it literally is like a story. Now it's up at this 330 level, and it's showing some sort of resistance at this 330 level after it broke through this 320. So after it broke through this 320 resistance, 10 cents up, it ran into another resistance area. After that, we're going to see resistance right up here at around this 350 area. Again, 350 is going to be a mental area. And you can see Z-Stand just sold down from the 610 down to 522. And ACHV, its float is 6.3 million. We've already just rotated the float with an average true range of 33 cents. So looking on FinViz at the average true range is really important. The average true range is how much the stock likes to move. This has a range of 30 cents. So if you buy this expecting it, here it goes again, eating up the ask. Buying this expecting it to move 60 cents, it has an average true range of 30 cents. It's going to move 30 cents at a time. So you got to adapt your trading to its average true range. Play it 30 cents at a time. Right now we got resistance at 330. I would be looking for support at 3. So I would look for this to wash out and pull back down to the 3 area for a potential buy-in and ride it right back up to this resistance. We got a micro pullback right there. And you can see this just keeps moving up and just keeps running into big sellers on the ask here. But there's big buyers that continuously could still come into this. To me, when a stock's moving up little by little like this at a resistance area, that's not really showing strength to me. That's me. And that's when it can potentially flush back down to $3 and reset itself. The sellers are just going to exhaust the buyers. But as we could see, volume is just exploding into this stock. We've only been open for 15 minutes and we're already at 10.6 million in volume. We're averaging 1 million volume per minute. That's crazy. That's another thing to keep in mind. How much volume is getting pumped into this? There's so many factors you got to take in mind when analyzing this stock. And look at all those sellers there on the ask. There could be fake orders as well on the ask, just trying to scare away buyers. If I'm a buyer and I see all that right there, I'm like, that's way too much selling to get through for this to move up. I'm going to want this to pull back down for a possible entry. And here's the big orders on the ask. And look at it just get chipped away really, really fast. And she moves right on up. And there she goes, right up to 350. You see how 350 was holding as resistance, and then she blew through 350, and the buying volume is just overflowing. You could see, look at how fast that volume's moving in on this. And I just took a quick scalp right there on this move up. We were just talking about this when it was at 10 million. 10 million. It's approaching 13 million now. Volume is just exploding into this. And again, 375. You see how we had some resistance at 350? Now 25 cents up. We have a little resistance here at 375. Every 25 cents is going to act as natural support and resistance. Not all the time, though. And there it goes. It breaks through 375 and surges up to 388. Still seeing a lot of people chasing this, buying this. This could pop up to $4, and then $4 be your resistance, and then want to pull back on itself. Quick surge up to $4. It's just up way too much right now. You got to think. If you're chasing it way up here, you got to take a step back and think. This has just been bullish for 3 straight minutes, going from 330 up to 388. That's 50 cents. I'd want this to pull back down. You can see here, ZSAN is still getting destroyed. A lot of people just taking their profits and selling it down. It does have short sale restriction on it. We've now rotated the float on ACHV 2 times. When you're rotating the float on this stock, it's just going to keep going and going. Volume is a huge, huge factor. Volume with the float. And you can see the buying volume is slowly starting to decline right here. So when that's slowly declining, we're about to get a big pullback back. This is the part you really want to pay attention to. How far is this going to flush back? Drawing your lines and trusting your lines. I would want this to at least pull back to 350 for a potential another entry. But she's just holding right at this 390 level. When it holds at these levels, that's what I call a micro pullback. Very, very strong and bullish. But she could fail and fall right back down, or with these micro pullbacks, she could just explode up. And there she goes, up to $4, 407. $417, $420, just like that. Boom. 30-cent explosion right there. And then look at all that selling coming in on the tape. Let me fast forward it a little bit right here. You can see she's getting tighter and tighter with this pullback down here to 4. She's popping up to 420 and slowly making lower highs. We're forming an ascending wedge. Connect this to this right here. That's an ascending wedge getting tighter and tighter. She's getting squeezed. Does this pattern work all the time? No. No pattern works all the time. But these are the types of patterns traders look for. I got in here at 408, looking for this to break above 420. and she didn't work out. She pulls right back down to this support level right here. And this is where I say, trust in your lines. I was really liking this setup right here, but she didn't work out. And then right at this level, she gets a great bounce. You could see all the selling coming in on this, but the bid's not even moving. This could be trapping shorts. They can't bring it down. When you see something like this, that shows strength. Now watch what this stock does. Sure, it broke through this support line right here, but these support lines and resistance lines are not metal. You got to think of them as like rubber bands. They're going to have some bend and elastic to it. Just like a trampoline. It came down, pushed down on it, and then boom, rips up. Now, when you've seen all the selling going on the tape, and the short sellers and the sellers couldn't bring this lower, like I said, that shows bullish strength. And just like that, from the 380 level, you get a push up to $4. 20 cents up, just like that. All the short sellers start covering, buyers come back into it, and then that's when she could really explode up. Just a simple trick of spotting something like that can make you a lot of money. And this is why you watch tape religiously over and over. Of course, she's going to find some resistance right here, because that's where we did find resistance. And then 420 is going to be another resistance. Just like that. Boom, from 380 up to 420. 40 cents up, just like that. That would have been a great play. That's why everything happens so fast, and sometimes you just gotta react and not think about it too much. The only way to get better is just to practice and keep an eye on detail. You can't be distracted while you're trading. You gotta be in the zone. Drawing your lines and just trusting your lines. Observing what the tape and the bid and ask is telling you. Fast forward it here a little more. Just like that, we get a push over that 325 up to 340s. You could see the volume bars trending up. 446, 48, 450. Just like that, from 380 up to 450. That's 80-cent profit right there. Fast forward it here a little bit. And this is on a Friday, so who knows what could have happened Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you could see this line right here, the support line at 380. What'd she do? She came back down slowly but surely, came back down to this support right here. And then from 380, we got another pop up to 4 and just over 4. That's why it's important to trust your lines. Always trust in your support lines and just wait for the stock to come to you. And just like that, from the 380, we got another push back up to this 420 area. Another opportunity for a profit right there. So we had an opportunity right there, a couple opportunities on this just by drawing simple support and resistance lines. Fast forward it here, and then draw your trend line connecting the lower highs. You can see that all became resistance, and now it's testing the support line again. But the stock market likes to move in rules of 3. So when a stock comes to an area and it's testing it for the 3rd time, that's when it could either fail or break. The rule of 3. Always keep that in mind. And sure enough, one more time, you got a bounce here from 380 up to 4. And you can see it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And while it's doing that in this pattern, you could have capitalized on that. And then sure enough, she breaks through that and then goes bearish the rest of the day. And you can see she came right back up to that 380 level. Now that 380 level's acting as resistance. Again, 380 resistance right there, and 380 resistance right there. Old support is now resistance. You got to think of these stocks, they move in stages before they make their move. So we had all right here, and all right here, all right here. So you see how the stock moved in this range, broke above it, fell back below it, resistance, support, resistance, support, pops up, draw your trend line down on it, and it just keeps hitting that, and then finally it fell through that support, found new support right here, draw a line, resistance, support, resistance, support, and that big trend line down connecting all the lower highs, that was acting as resistance as well. Support, she came back up, she broke through this trend line, and she broke through this resistance line right here and ran right back up to this $4 level, a mental area, and then back again. This is how ACHV traded the rest of the day. It came down to 310, made a low at 290, and then popped back up to 350s. So going into Monday, I'm going to draw my lines out, see how this trades Monday, and see what pops up pre-market on Monday. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. ZSAN just did nothing. It had a quick morning pop, and then the rest of the day it just sold down, back down to 430. But ZSAN is still going to be on watch for the next day. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe button and join the Trading Learning 101 community. Alright guys, until next time, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study. Alright everyone, later.